In this week's Parsha, Moshe faces off with Og Melech HaBashan, the giant Og, the king of Bashan. And Hashem says to Moshe something strange, which we don't see before any of the other wars that Moshe has to fight with. Hashem says to him, Al Tira, don't be afraid of Og. And it's a bit strange that Moshe, who has God on his side, would be afraid. Okay, Og was a big bad giant, but why was Moshe afraid? Why does Moshe display an element of anxiety in this week's Parsha where he doesn't do so in any other battle? And the answer is, Og has quite a history. Og was such a big giant. The rabbis tell us he couldn't even fit in the ark. When the great flood came, he held on to the ark of Noah. He then lived many hundreds of years, and he was around at the time of Abraham. And he was the one who told Abraham that Lot, Abraham's nephew, had been captured. And he advised Abraham of the capture of Lot. And Abraham got Eliezer together, and they went and they battled in the war of the 4 and 5 kings. You know why Moshe was scared of Og? Because Og did a chesed. Og did a kindness to Abraham in informing him about the capture of Lot. And Moshe was afraid of the merit of Avraham Avinu. He was afraid of the merit of Abraham. And that's when Hashem says to him, don't be afraid. You don't need to be anxious about the merit of Avraham in this situation. But let's backtrack a bit. Rashi tells us over there that Og's motivations were nefarious. Og's motivations was to have Avraham killed in the battle of the 4 and 5 kings so that he could marry the beautiful Sarah, the wife of Avraham, as she would become a widow. His motivations, his agenda was evil. And nevertheless, Moshe was still afraid of him. This teaches us something powerful about the power of chesed. And that is, can you imagine the protection and the reward and the merit that we receive from Hashem when we do chesed for the right reasons, when we do kindness for altruistic purposes, the protection that we get from Hashem, the merit, the reward that we get from Hashem is so great. If Moshe was scared of dodgy, suspicious, evil chesed, can you imagine how great good chesed actually is? Shabbat Shalom.